I'll begin by reviewing the first two comparison assignments that don't even involve fingerprint identification. The first assignment that you'll begin with is the Stonewall Search, and that will involve you trying to find fragmentary photographs of stones that are in this wall. The second assignment will be the stone face, and you'll do something similar. The stone wall begins with first taking the perf cut papers, or the perf cut assignments, and simply creasing them along the perf cuts, and that will help make it easier to tear them apart. In all these perf cut assignments, it's best to get each comparison separate so that you can look at it and mark on it and move it around as you need. So this is the Q1, which is questioned number 1, and you are to find that in the Stonewall. This will be conducted by doing a comparison of what features you see in Q1 and try to find it on the Stonewall. And if you can find it, then you'll just have to mark with your pen. You can just make a circle and put, for instance, Q1 where you found it, and go through all of the 12 and try to determine if you can find them. The next assignment will be searching for the areas in the stone face photograph, and again you'll have perf cut pages that you'll crease and tear, and individually you will make a comparison between the Q and the surface of the stone face that I have indicated here. When you look for your identification and make it, you are going to employ the XY axis method of identifying it. This will be done by simply using the answer sheet and marking the XY coordinates as it's indicated here in this answer sheet. I have an example of that. So in other words, once you find it and you do the overlay, you'll find the approximate center and use the XY coordinates and mark it here. This will give us a numerical value for the identification area that you found. These two assignments, the stone face and the stone wall, will take approximately 45 minutes to an hour for each one. The next set of exercises will involve the recognition and designation of ridge features, ending ridges, bifurcations, and ridge dots. With this assignment process, you are going to designate with a color-coded system. You'll get a red and a green pencil and a ruler that has a hole punched in it, and the legend will be on the left. This will be where you indicate the total number of ridge features that you designate. To give you an example, I'm just going to mark a few of the ending ridges with the red circle. And again, ending ridges are circled with the red pencil, and just try to get the ending ridge right in the center of the circle. And the way you can remember is an ending ridge terminates just like and a red is for the stop sign that is indicating the ridge that is stopping or terminating. And this is going to require you to go through all of these and make a determination as to what is an ending ridge. Then it will proceed to marking bifurcations, and simply use the green pencil for that. And the third ridge event that we will be indicating would be the ridge dot, and indicate the ridge dot with a red circle and just do a small amount of shading. Go from left to right, top to bottom. Try to make a determination as to what is an ending ridge, what is a bifurcation, what is the ridge dot. And don't forget that when you're all done, come up with a system to mark and indicate how many ending ridges, bifurcations, and circles or ridge dots that you found. So you will put in the total number here. This sheet will be turned in to me and for this assignment. That was assignment number 3. Assignment number 4 is the same, is the exact same assignment, except for you're dealing with a whirl pattern here. And go ahead, do the same designation, marking the ridge features. So that's number 4. Number 5 is a loop pattern. This one will become a little bit more difficult because purposely I have the ridges are a little bit lighter in this one. And go ahead, mark them in the same way. The next assignment, number 6, is the plain arch. Again, same instruction for that. Number 7 is a whirl pattern, and again, mark all of them, make your interpretations, and indicate here in the legend. Number 8, there are 4 different areas. Mark whichever, if you see any of the ridge features, and indicate the total of all 4 here. The assignment number 9, this will involve some interpretation, and you'll have to decide what are ending ridges in this one. And number 10 is the last of this type assignment, and this again will maybe make you think a little bit. The importance of these assignments as they progress is recognizing that there is a lot of interpretation as to what is an ending ridge, what is a bifurcation, what is a ridge dot, or is it a short ridge, and what are cracks and creases, or how do they affect whether you determine if something is an ending ridge or bifurcation. And not to mention, or not to forget to mention, how do pores affect how we interpret ending ridges and bifurcations. So all of this background work that you do will be very useful in our workstation assignments when we are examining prints, both with the magnifier and microscope camera. Assignment number 11 will begin the ridge counting exercises, and the first assignment will involve counting the intervening ridges between the indication or the indicated arrows here. What I recommend is using your ruler and lining it up with the 2 points of the arrow, and then of course count the intervening ridges and indicate that number right below it. And well, actually this is the first one here, and so just simply count the intervening ridges. This is a very fundamental operation of the fingerprint identification process. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page in doing this. These ridge counts in these assignments should be fairly accurate and consistent from one student to another. The exercise 12 is just a little bit different. It involves using point A here as a base, and just count from the intervening ridges from the base A to B, C, D, and E, and you'll indicate the coordinates here and with the ridge counts. So fill in A, B through AH right here. And I have an example. A through K is 15 ridges here. So in your instructions, you should be able to understand that. 13 is basically the same type of operation. You'll use point A and count to the different coordinates indicated with the arrows, and again indicate in the legend. In assignment number 14, this is going to involve using color-coded arrows, and this enlargement shows what the exercise looks at under a magnifier. Now this will require you to use a fingerprint magnifier and a ridge pointer, and you can take the magnifier and place it and look through it and count the ridges between each one. This will take a little bit of time. You should be able to make these ridge counts and indicate them right above the arrow. So we're using a color-coded system right there. This will take a little while. There's 16 of them there. And you should be able to see that. This is the first exercise where you're using your magnifier. The next set of assignments involve ridge feature designation charts, where you will be making coordinate designations by circling features and making a legacy chart. Let's look at assignment number 15. That's the first coordinate plot exercise, and all you have to do is use your red pencil and make circles and find compliant ridge features in each of the starting with the questioned on the left to the known on the right. Every place that you see a compliant ridge feature, go ahead and place a circle, and that will designate in a self-explanatory exhibit what ridge features you use to make the identification. Now all of these prints are identifications. You are just to illustrate them. This is number 16. Again, mark the ridge features that you find to be in compliant positions. Number 17, a little bit more difficult, involves a plain arch pattern, and the print on the right is darker. This will involve a little bit more work, and it may be more difficult for you. The next set of assignments are what I refer to as legacy charts, the old-fashioned chart that we did for many years, where you would have arrows on one side and you would indicate the Q print on the left and the K print on the right. And this is just a matter of selecting ridge features in compliant positions and try to use features that would help you explain the identification if you were showing it to somebody or if you were testifying in court. And often the case, if you're going to use the number system, your number 1 and number 2 features should be very easy to see, and that would be how you would explain your identification. Do not crisscross the lines, make them all parallel, or don't allow them to intersect in any of these assignments. Assignment 19, very similar to that. It's a whirl pattern. Assignment 20 is a plain arch pattern, and here you'll be comparing a bigger print to a smaller print. The next set of assignments, you will be comparison pairs. These are very basic comparisons, and you'll just determine identification or exclusion in each of the sets of pairs, and all you have to do is circle exclusion or identification, whichever your selection is. The first 12 is assignment number 21. The second 12 is assignment number 22. And the third assignment, or the assignment 23, is the final 12 of these comparison assignments. These should not take too long. And certainly, if you want to mark ridge features on these, you can write on them in any manner that would help you to remember your identification. And these will be submitted to me also. I'm going to go over PrintScore A, B, C, D, and E real quickly just by looking at PrintScore A, because they're all the same. The exercises just become a little bit more difficult as you go along. PrintScore, the Q prints need to be creased and torn apart like the did in the other exercises. So these are perf cut, and you will just make the comparison one at a time individually. I really encourage you to, in the assessment of the print, I would like you to mark the ridge features that you are going to use after you determine orientation. And an example in this one, if I were to be searching this print, there's a real good chance that I would be looking at these two bifurcations here forming this enclosure, and these would be the first 2 points I would look at, and then I would probably go to this ridge right here, and I would have a search triangle somewhere in here. A lot of people like to look at the spike in the core, but there are so many spikes in cores that I prefer something like this. So if you would just mark your starting points, and then if you want to go ahead and mark the compliant features by circling them like you did in the other exercises, that's fine. And when you identify the Q print, you will indicate the print that you compare it to, of course, and indicate the answer by putting, for instance, this is KL318. That would be that's the designation for this print. So this is identified through the KL 320, 317, etc. These are the known prints, and you have 2 sets in PrintScore A. Just make sure that you keep the sets together, that you're comparing PrintScore A to A, and you may want to just keep them paper clipped together. And again, finally, just indicate the identified known print on the Q print. You are identifying the Q print, not the known print. Some people get confused and they're marking the wrong thing, but go ahead and identify the latent or the Q print. And there are exercises A, B, C, D, and E in this assignment. These will take a few hours to complete. I'm now going to open PrintScore AFIS, and when I do that, it is asking for a password, and the password is AFIS. And the exercise 100 opened. Now, of course, you will use the plus and minus to get this to be the optimal size on your screen. You can go up even over 100%. And all you'll have to do is, of course, read the directions and then scroll down. And this is nothing more difficult than looking at 2 prints and determining identification or exclusion. And I have an answer sheet that you can fill out and just indicate each one, go through every comparison. And AFIS 100 is quite simple. This is an example of AFIS 100.
There's a total of 300 comparisons in AFIS 100, 200, and 300. You need to do all of those. Again, indicate your answers on a sheet, and you'll be submitting those to me.
I'm now going to explain the PrintScore 100 to 300. This comes in a pack, and I have an instruction sheet here that you can follow, and this is going to require that you cut the Q prints, cut them apart with a scissors. And again, just like the other ones, these need to be individual prints so that you can compare them just like they're a latent print. And you'll be able to rotate them around, fold them if necessary to fit them under the magnifier as you compare them to the known prints. Each of the sets, for instance, exercise 101, there are 20 Q prints, and you will be comparing it to the exemplar prints of the names indicated. And there's exercise 101, 102, and it goes all the way to 105, and then the 200 series begins, and it concludes with the 300 series, which also involves palm print comparisons. Now, these are not latent prints. These are actual inked prints, but they're made to look fragmentary, and you'll have to determine the orientation and first, of course, and then mark your you can go ahead and mark your features if you want, or you can just put them under the magnifier and make your comparisons. It's really important that you use the answer sheet on these, and at the very back of the pack is the answer sheet for each of the series. This is 100, 101 to 105, and just indicate identifying the Q print to the name and the finger number or palm of the person that you identify. Now, depending on your skill level, these will of course take varying amounts of time, and they're good introductory. They're all ground truth, so there are definite answers for each of these, and again, it will be required that you have a magnifier and a pointer to do this. I'm finally at the final assignment that you'll have to do in the home study program, and this is PrintScore Proxy. There's a booklet that explains somewhat what it's about. The questioned prints are photographs of actual latent prints. You will need to cut them out along the dotted lines. These are not perf cut. It's very important to have each of these, like the other assignments, to be separate latent prints. You'll need a magnifier and a pointer, and do whatever you need. You can fold these and crease them however you want to put them under the magnifier and make your comparisons. I recommend that you, when you make your comparison and then identification or your determination, you indicate it on the latent print, put down the name, the finger number, and the date, and do all of the assignments. And then at the very end, when you have completed it, transfer the information from the latent prints and make sure to confirm your identifications and make sure you're accurate, and then place the name and the finger number in the answer sheet. When you have completed PrintScore Proxy, you will have completed more than 24 hours of fingerprint comparison assignments, and all of them will directly relate to what we do in the workstation.